going on there, YouTube? We're going to be back here working on the 300ZX again. Going to be installing a new steering wheel, quick release, and a short hub. I'll go over that stuff here in a second. I'll show you what I've been up to. Over the last couple of months, I've been working on installing the Saturn Vue ePass column, and it is almost finished. Mechanically, it's set. Everything, all the linkages work. The last piece I really need to do is I'm going to swap out this steering wheel for obviously that momo that's on the hood. This thing's seen better days, and I figure if I'm putting it back together, I might as well do something just a little bit nicer. Okay, so this is the 320mm momo Monte Carlo steering wheel. I went with this one because of the similar shape to a stock GLL wheel. It should fit pretty nice, and I wanted something just a little bit smaller than that, and this seems like it'll be perfect for me. And of course, we've got the Energy 240SX short hub, and that should bolt right onto the Z31. And then this is the Energy 2.8 quick release, and then this should all bolt together to make it a fairly easy install, but we all know how that works out in the Z31 world. So first thing we're going to do is test fit this hub and see if everything works. I've got to make sure that this horn ring works. I obviously want the horn to work. I don't want to put it together and have to take it back apart because it doesn't. But my steering wheel obviously is off already. If you don't know how to take your steering wheel off, and just one bolt, unbolt it. Easy enough. Alright, if you're looking on here, the end of your column, if I can get this thing to focus on it, there's a high mark. Let's see, right there. That should be center if your joints and everything are put back together correctly factory. Then there's also a high mark on this thing right here for center. So you're going to want to line them two dots up. Do this, let's see. Right the first time. Alright, so both of them are in line. We're good to go. Now there's a trim ring that I don't have on here right now. I'll get that put on here a little bit. I've gone through and tested, and I'm not making contact with the horn. You can see in here, this pin right here is my horn pin. And it'll pull out, but it's pushed in a little bit. The plastic is a little bit warped. I think the spring is just old, and the pin is worn. So I'm going to have to work on this, getting this back out so we can contact this back ring. But this should be bolt on. That just, if you're having problems with this over the years that these become worn, you may have to deal with that, extending it out a little bit. Like I'm going to have to on mine, but it should be fairly simple. It's just one. This pin is spring loaded, and it should be able to pop it out a little bit more. Okay, I took it off and got it all cleaned up. This is the way this should be, nice and springy. Just takes a little bit of cleaning, get that old grease out of there, put some new grease in. That will work. Now we'll install this onto here the right way. Right there. Let's see. You can see it making contact and actually have a little bit of spring into it. So that is the correct way. So now we'll get the nut onto this and get this tightened down. That part was pretty easy. It's all tightened down. I got these two wires here. One of them goes to that ring, so that would be this one, and this one just goes to a ground for the column. And then we'll take our quick release and we'll connect them to here. That'll just pass them through the quick release to these two sets of wires, just to make sure that there's a clear path to ground so the horn will work. Sometimes that these will have connection through them, through the metal part. Sometimes they won't. So we're just going to hook this one up just in case. And there's plenty of room with the nut and the wires to have all this tucked in here. So on the car side, that's done. So now you got the hub with a quick release portion put onto it. And then this, snap right on there, lock in. Other than that, this can now be installed onto the Momo steering wheel that I have. And that's going to take a little bit of doing. I had to order one other part, and I'll show you that. So this steering wheel will bolt to this with no problem. The problem lies in the horn button. So Momo sends their steering wheel with this horn ring. And this ring has a lip and will not go inside of the energy hub. If you put it backwards, obviously it's not going to work with the wheel, so this is no good. So if you want to use the horn button that came with this wheel, you have to buy another horn ring. So this is the horn ring I picked up off eBay. It's like 10 bucks. And it doesn't have that rolled lip on the inside. It had a tab right here. I cut that off. I didn't need it. But this sits inside here. And then this horn button will sit right in there. This ring is holding it out, so it won't pop right in right now. But I've already tried it. It does work. And this allows you to actually have the horn button on the wheel without interference from the quick release. You can see this just does not fit inside here without that. So the other issue I've run into is with these connectors, there's really not enough space to get them connected and then put it all together. So I'm going to take this apart. I'm going to cut these connectors off, and I'm just going to solder them to these terminals. That'll give me a little bit more room inside of here. Then, yeah, that should be everything we need to bolt this together, and I'll have a steering wheel. Alright, I got the horn assembled in here. I just crimped a new end on here, and I was able to bend this one a little bit. So on this one, you also have that dot. Let's see, right there's the dot. That's your alignment for top of your steering wheel. So you want to get this horn. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. All right, I'm gonna have to turn it a little bit because that button's off just a little bit. Okay, it's right there. All the holes line up, so we'll get this steering wheel bolted on, and then the horn button should work the way it needs to. Before I tighten this all down, I am going to test it just to make sure. I got enough screws in it just to test it, just to make sure if I have to take it back apart, it's easier just to do a couple, because these screws, they do strip out pretty easy. So I'll turn the power onto the car, we'll get this installed, and we'll check it. If everything's good, we'll tighten it down. Power's back on, and the horn is not beeping, so that's a really good sign. If we cross these two right here, it beeps. So now we just need to test the steering wheel. So we'll take this. And it works. We'll finish getting this tightened down. One thing you can do after everything is installed is the quick release ring actually has a set screw in it. And you can adjust, actually I think it's loose, you can adjust this so that way it's straight up and down with your wheel. It's made to turn so that way different wheels, the different bore patterns on this quick release. One thing I was really worried about with this setup, I took a lot of time to figure it out, was actually the distance from here to the stocks for your turn signals and stuff, because obviously I don't want to be trying to reach all the way up here. I got short hands anyways. This wheel sits about 3/4 of an inch taller with the stack up than the actual factory wheel. So I'm gonna have to reach for them a little bit, but it's not horrible. To me, it's acceptable for gaining the quick release and the much better wheel. But if you wanted to just go with the standard hub and out the quick release, you could get this into the factory specs, and you could also do a short quick release or whatever. But to me, this one works perfect for exactly what I want it for. So now I just need to finish up a couple little things with the e-pass swap, and I can take it for a drive and see how it feels. But this is going to be night and day difference in feel over this old thing that doesn't even have the leather cover on it anymore. If you're looking to do this to your Z31, it's fairly easy. So thanks for watching.